What's up, people? I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna start talking about music instead of playing music because none of you guys seem to care about the music that I play. So maybe if I just say things, you might listen more. I don't know. But anyway, it's uh it's winter time, right? Is what's today? The solstice day, December 21st, 12/21. I always love those, dude. What's the name, the term for something that's the same forwards as backwards? It's not an anagram. It's a oh man. You know what? We're on the computer. I'm gonna be like, oh, that's what it is. Palindrome. I should have known that, dude. I used to be smart, guys, but you get old, and as the great Laura Jane Grace says, you get mixed up with the wrong guys. You get messed up on the wrong stuff. I'm over all that stuff, but that's life. It rots your brain, kids. Be smart. Just drink booze from a coffee cup instead. But here we are. We're going to talk about the 5 albums that you should get reacquainted with this winter. None of them are new. I'm also going to throw in 3 honorable mentions that you guys should enjoy. And I designed these coffee cups, but you can't really tell on here. It looks okay on camera, but the circle is not very symmetrical on here. It looks okay on camera though. But as far as on the hat, it looks good, man. On the shirt, it looks good too. I could I'm gonna go Superman for you here. All right. Anyway, um, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Also, maybe one day I'll get some intro music, but not right now, because that's too much work. It's enough work getting these various thumbnails going on. You want to see some holiday thumbnails? Hey, I made that. I made that. I made it. I tried to make it look like a stale peppermint or something. It's meant to look ratchet. And then we got that one. It's meant to look like melted snow, sort of. You know how like when you're in a big city and it snows, it's only nice for like 2 seconds, and then all the cars start driving by and it just turns black and mushy and gross. So that's kind of what that's supposed to look like text wise. Looks a little blurry on here, but I don't know. It looks good in print, sort of. Anyway, let's get on to the show. Ba-da-da-da-da. There's your musical transition. Okay, so I didn't put these in any particular order, so I've got these thumbnails here, and I'm just kind of gonna go by the seat of my pants here. So we'll just throw this one in at number 5, and you guys can tell me what you think in the comments or not. The wonderful Depeche Mode, legendary Depeche Mode. Music for the masses. Maybe not my personal favorite Depeche Mode album, but as far as wintry vibes, it's definitely got the wintry vibes going on. I kind of listen to Depeche Mode more as like vibey background music. I don't really focus on the lyrics, which is funny because this album has that like sort of classical vibe anyway, and even like the last song on it is Sonata number 14 in C sharp minor, so it kind of fits with like how I view Depeche Mode as a band anyway, which is just kind of like chill, like study music, or like if you're just kind of like hungover and you don't want to listen to like folk music, like Depeche Mode definitely sort of the vibes for that. Um, So I guess we'll just keep it rolling to number 4. We won't get to honorable mentions yet because you don't do the honorable mentions until like right before number 1, right? I don't know. If I keep looking up, it's because I'm looking at my computer monitor as I'm doing these transitions. And welcome to my room, by the way. So next we'll go with Ambulance Ltd. I was fortunate enough to see this band touring in support of this album back in 2004 at the Cat's Cradle in Carrboro, North Carolina. The Grammy-winning band The National was actually the opening act on that show, and I don't know, man. I still to this day don't really get the appeal of The National. No offense. I know that one dude is working with T Swizzle, and he seems like a cool guy. But back in the day, I don't know, man. I think he's got a brother too, right? And they were both wearing like these, like, you know, like indie guy sweaters, and I don't know. They looked like chimps at the time too. I was just like, who are these chimps in sweaters and stuff? But shows what I know. I mean, they're doing Grammy stuff and hanging out with T Swizzles, Fizzle Sticks, and here I am in my room talking trash about an album that, you know, from a band that went nowhere. But these guys, they started hanging out with one of the dudes from the Velvet Underground when they were making their second album, and they probably got mixed up on that dope and never got to where they should have, you know? Curse of musician life, man. Don't do drugs, kids. As far as standout songs on this album, I didn't really give you guys too much on the Depeche Mode album, standout song-wise, did I? But anyway, I gotta look at the track listing here. So, I can't remember which one they had the music video for. I think it was Heavy Lifting. Yeah, it was definitely Heavy Lifting. That was the single from this album. And then Primitive, The Way I Treat You was a single from this album too. But my personal favorite on this album is probably Ophelia. And then Sugar Pill is a good one too. It's just kind of like a dreamy, sort of like down-tempo-y love song. I really like that one. And then The Ocean at the end is also a really good one too. Let's see here. I think that Ocean one's a Velvet Underground cover too, but don't quote me on that. So where am I at here? Sorry, this is literally the first time I've ever done a video with like thumbnails and stuff somewhat live. I mean, this isn't airing live, but it's, what do they call it? Live to tape. So which one do we want to pick next? These are tough, man. These are tough. I'm trying to remember also which ones were my honorable mentions and which ones are the actual top 5. Let's see here. Okay, so next we'll go with this one just because the singer got into some trouble and they are somewhat banned these days from the scene, as they say. But this album is top shelf, dude. I mean, it's up there. If you guys don't know, I do delivery driving for a company that shall not be named. And I was listening to this album last night. It was just I was in the mood for it. And it's honestly what inspired me to do this video. Even though I was going to do one in the fall, I was going to do my top 5 fall albums. And I have them written down, but since the fall's over, y'all are going to have to wait till next year for that. Unless you seduce me somehow. Maybe over the pillow talk. But honestly, while this band's up, I shouldn't be mentioning pillow talk. But sorry, Jesse Lacey. But man, there's some great songs on this one, dude. Bed's great. I mean, the intro and outro songs are cool too. Like supposedly they found like this like old like 7-inch record with these like old vintage like hymnals of sorts on there, and that's the intro and the outro to the album, and it just it's a vibe, man. It's such a vibe. Bought a Bride is fantastic. Gasoline is really dark. Um, yeah, this is a really dark album, but it's got the wintry vibes, and yeah, it really sucks that Brand New is somewhat ostracized from the scene these days. Okay, so man, I didn't really think that it was gonna go this way as far as what ends up number two and number one. I got a decision to make here, kind of on the cuff. Um, so I'm just gonna pick this one. It's really not a rankings video, I don't think. I would really put all these albums on the same level. Except maybe one of the honorable mentions I feel like falls on a lower tier. But anyway, next album we're gonna pick here, we'll just go with OK Computer by Radiohead. I'm such a Radiohead fanboy. I'll try to deny it, but I mean, one of my favorite bands. I've talked about this a million times. I was lucky enough to see them at Bonnaroo in 2006. It was life changing. It was literally life changing. And I saw them again in 2009 in Charlotte, and that was pretty cool too. But doesn't compare to the Bonnaroo show. The Bonnaroo show, In Rainbows, hadn't come out yet. It was still another year before that album would come out, and they played like 7 songs off of that album, and we had never heard them before, and it was awesome, dude. I remember they played Body Snatchers for the first time, and it was just like, whoa, like Radiohead can do that too. Like it was amazing. It was amazing. So anyway, I feel like that could be my number one. OK Computer. As far as like what song is a bad song on this album, I'm looking at the track listing. I mean, you got the obvious, the hits, if you could call them that. Paranoid Android, one of the coolest guitar solos ever. You want to talk about live at Bonnaroo, dude? Johnny Greenwood ripped that solo at Bonnaroo, and I was just like, oh my god, this is 2006 Bonnaroo too, not when they played it again later on. Like they were like Bonnaroo was awesome until maybe, I mean, they got bought out after 2007, I think, and that was the last year I went, was 2007. So I feel like it was still cool for a couple years after that. But now Bonner is not what it used to be. So when Radiohead played there again in like 2014 or whatever, it was just kind of like a nostalgia thing. But man, so Let Down is one of my favorite songs on this album, believe it or not. I know I try to be a big punk rocker, but I've got such a soft side in me. And then Lucky, I had a cover of Lucky on this YouTube page back in the day. I might put it back up, but I took a lot of my covers down just because I was so freaking inebriated and sloppy in most of them. It's kind of embarrassing. And then another one of my favorites, the Bonnaroo live version, is fantastic. You should go listen to it. Bonnaroo 2006, Radiohead playing Climbing Up the Walls. Just, oh my goodness. Fantastic stuff. So I guess I didn't really plan for it to go this way, but we'll say number one album you should get reacquainted with this winter, Elliott Smith, XO. So Waltz number 2, first time I heard that song, just like changed my life, man. But just wintry vibes all day with this one. The down-tuned guitars and just sort of dreamy vocals of Mr. Sir Smith. Once again, an album with not really a bad song on it. Independence Day is fantastic. Baby Britain is a jam. Bled White, oh my god. Bottle Up and Explode, that was another one. The first time I heard that, it changed my life. You can't listen to my guitar playing and not hear that song in it at some points. Just that sort of like bouncy kind of, I don't know. I'm not theoretical enough to put it into words. It's all about feel anyway. Well, dang, I didn't even give you guys my honorable mentions before number one. So I guess we'll just do the honorable mentions now. And we'll start with what I think is probably the least best of these albums, but we'll go with TV on the Radio, Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes. Staring at the Sun is a great song for your, waking up and having some coffee on a cold morning, or, sipping on a whiskey as the sun goes down and you're getting ready to go through the night. Ambulance is a good song for the holiday season, even though it's not a holiday song at all. But it's just got that vibe, it almost sounds like a Christmas carol. Yeah, good stuff. So we will leave it at that for TV on the Radio. I feel bad. I could have seen TV on the Radio one time. It was before I had really heard them. I think they opened up for Nine Inch Nails and Bauhaus on a tour, and I elected to stay in the parking lot partying with my friends before we went in to see Bauhaus open up for Nine Inch Nails. And then Bauhaus didn't even play Dark Entries, which bummed me out. But Bauhaus is still really awesome, dude. Shout out to Peter Murphy and all the vampires of the universe. Speaking of vampires of the universe, we will just go ahead and keep it gothy for you here, babies. AFI, December Underground. Another honorable mention. Some really cool stuff on this one. Produced by Jerry Finn, the legend. He worked, with Blink-182 most famously, but he also worked on some really cool stuff with Jawbreaker. He did one of my favorite Morrissey albums, You Are the Quarry, and obviously he worked on December Underground. And I mean, Jerry Finn did a lot of other stuff too. I wish I knew his whole resume off the top of my head, but yeah, shout out to Jerry Finn. Some really cool stuff on this album. I'm not a big fan of the main single, Miss Murder. I mean, it's all right, but stuff like, I like 37 millimeter. The Killing Lights is cool. Love Like Winter is cool. I mean, really, the whole album's cool. Even, I mean, Miss Murder is not a bad song either, but December Underground, that's it. Okay, so the final honorable mention that I should have said before number one, but I don't know, maybe this one's secretly number one. Modest Mouse, Moon in Antarctica. I mean, obviously, if we're going for top winter albums, right? Just the title speaks for itself. Once again, not really a bad song on this album. I Came as a Rat's probably my favorite song on it. The Cold Part's good. Alone Down There is good. Third Planet's a cool intro song. Yeah, so I actually had to put this one on here because Brand New's Daisy sounds a lot like Modest Mouse, right? And I actually was lucky enough to see Brand New open up. You don't know what's in this cup, do you? It might be carbonated. One good burp deserves another. Oh, you see it now. I got the who needs a milk mustache when you can get a Suddy mustache? But anyway, I guess what are we gonna do? A little transition here since it's the holidays. I've been You guys have had a nice view of my bookshelf this whole time with all this crap on it. You like all my NASCAR diecasts and my DVD collection and whatever else is over there. A little Bath and Body Works elf scent plug that makes my room smell like sugar cookies. But I don't know, man. I guess I'm gonna go. I got things to do today, believe it or not. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your happy holidays and listen to some good music. Music is the gift that will never stop giving. And listen to my music and like and subscribe and support me on all of the major platforms. Go buy yourself a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug with a misprinted circle logo that doesn't look too bad on camera. Like I said, it looks good on camera, but if you saw this in person, you'd be like, ooh, that's lopsided. It looks like an oval. But I don't know, guys. I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, wait. I had some of these made. You like holographic stickers? Yeah. Send me an email with your address, timtrutone@gmail.com, and maybe I'll send you one. But I probably won't because shipping's too expensive. But now you know my email address. Not that it's not on my website, timtrutone.com. I might have no fans, but I got a website.